welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today's video, we're going to be talking about the things that I do, my tips, my tricks, my secrets to get out of a reading slump. And these are going to be 8 things that I do constantly to get out of a reading slump. Now, if you don't know what a reading slump is when you don't want to read anymore, when you feel like you don't find enjoyment in reading anymore. But I always say that reading slumps is not your brain telling you to stop reading. It's literally your brain telling you to switch it up a little bit because you got bored of the exact same thing. So in today's video, we're going to talk about everything that I do to make sure that I continue reading so I can reach all of my reading goals. So I made a quick list, and the first thing that I always do and I always recommend when you're in a reading slump is to switch the genre. If you've been reading a lot of fantasy, I'm talking you've been reading back to back fantasy, you might want to switch the genre. You might want to read, I don't know, a romance book, or you might want to read a mystery book, a horror book, something like that. Just because you need a palate cleanse. Just because you can get very tired of reading the exact same thing. Or if I'm reading about wolves and vampires and stuff like that, you want to have something else to focus on, not just the exact same fantasy over and over again. So what do? I always try to mood read. If I'm reading a lot of fantasy right now, I will go take a break and read something like romance, and then I will go back to reading fantasy and stuff like that, so I can always have that element of surprise in my genres and never feel like I'm tired of reading the exact same thing. The second tip or trick that I do is go and buy myself a brand new book. And this might not seem like it's a big deal, but I love going to the bookstore and just browsing, reading the back covers, seeing something that would get me excited to read, and then reward myself and get it. And then that's how I kind of get myself back into my reading game. And that's how I get out of reading slumps pretty fast. I love getting myself brand new books. And if I has to convince me right then and there in the store. If I read the back and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to read it. No, you have to read the back and you have to be fully convinced that you're going to read it. You go ahead, buy yourself that book and start reading it. And believe me, you're going to be out of a reading slump in no time. Third is reward yourself after reading. What do? Let's say I put myself a goal for today of reading 100 pages. After I read said 100 pages, I get myself a sweet treat. I get myself a Diet Coke. I get myself anything that I'm craving at the moment, or that I would do at the current moment, but I will only do it after I finish reading. Let's say I'm already gonna go out for dinner, or I'm already gonna order food in. Okay, I need to read 100 pages before I can actually order food in. I need to read 100 pages or 50 pages before I can actually get the cookie that I have in the fridge. Or I don't know, something like that. But just make sure that you're rewarding yourself after you finish reading. Because that will be like your brain telling you, if you continue reading, you're gonna get something good out of it. And that's honestly the way that I trick my brain into reading more and more and more. Number 4 is challenging yourself. I love doing reading challenges. I currently have one going on TikTok. It's rapid reads, where a spin wheel picks how many pages I have to read. Then the second spin wheel picks how much time I have to read it. And the third picks the reward that I get for reading. Let's say I get to read 100 pages in the first spin wheel, and the second tells me that I have 2 hours to read 100 pages. That's more than doable. So I'm gonna try to read those 100 pages in those 2 hours or less. And then after the third spin wheel, I see what reward I get myself for reading that. But not only that reading challenge that I have on TikTok, also other reading challenges that I see. I know there's a girl named Victoria that she has a reading tax, that way that she can read every single day. And just challenge yourself. Okay, if I read 50 pages right now, I will do this. Or okay, I'm gonna try to read 50 pages in 50 minutes, see if I can make it. Like, just challenge yourself. That way it's gonna be fun, and that way if you're very competitive, you're gonna want to finish the challenge and actually want to continue doing more and more challenges. For number 5, we have reread your comfort book or reread a 5-star book. This is a two-in-one. So this actually has worked for me. One of my comfort books, and this might be controversial, is Assassin's Blade. And I know that that book is like super, super sad, but it's one of my comfort books, and I love rereading it because it just reminds me of how when I started reading Throne of Glass, the series, and that book sparks that like fantasy love that I have, and I want to start reading more and more and more. But this does not only apply to comfort books. Let's say 2 months ago you finished reading Diarybound and it was your first 5-star book in the year. What you're gonna do, if right now you're in a reading slump, go ahead and reread it again. If you really loved it and if it was 5 stars, reread it again. And any 5-star book, it's gonna give you that spark again to start reading. So, another story, just the same with Assassin's Blade being my comfort book. I was in such a bad reading slump for months and months and months. And I feel like I've talked about this in other videos and also on my TikTok. I was in a horrible reading slump for like months on end. I did not read a single book. I feel like from June of 2025 all the way to December, I did not read a single book. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, I got recommended a book that everybody was saying it's a 5-star book, and that was the Fourth Wing series. And I had read the first book. It was a 5-star book, and I just didn't continue it. And I went back and reread Fourth Wing, and then I continued the entire series. And that book, that series sparked my wanting to read again, my buying books again, and everything at the beginning of this year, which I'm really, really grateful for that series. And I'm so excited to see what is new for that series. But the same way that you don't necessarily have to had already read the 5-star book to want to reread it again, but go in with book reviews. If I want to say 90% of the people are telling you this is a 5-star, try to read that book. Just try to read either a comfort book or 5 stars, and you're going to see how you're going to be out of a reading slump so easily. Coming in on number 6, we have change your reading location. Now, I know a lot of us read in our house, in our bedrooms, and stuff like that. But when I'm in a reading slump, I want to make reading fun. And like, yeah, I want to make reading fun for myself. So what do I like to do? I like to go either to the actual bookstore, Barnes and Nobles. After I walk around a little bit, I sit in the cafe or in between the aisles, and I'll read there my book. Or I'll go to a coffee store, or I'll make sure to go somewhere else, a park, anywhere that's not my house, to read and actually force myself to read. If you need to put away distractions like TikTok, like your phone, anything that could distract you, do that. What I like doing, I like leaving my house. I'll always put like some headphones and some low music and just start reading and submerge yourself into what you're reading. Let's say you're reading a fantasy book. I will look up on Apple Music like fantasy world playlist or something like that, and I'll put my headphones and it's like old music. So while you're reading and you're listening to the music, you're like immersing yourself in the actual book. And honestly, that works like a charm. Every single time I do that, I just end up going on a rabbit hole of being hooked into a book and continue reading every single day after that. Coming in at number 7, we have reading sprints. And what I mean with reading sprints is you're gonna put yourself a timer. Let's say a 10-minute timer, a 20-minute timer. 10-minute timer, let's just do the example. You're gonna read 10 pages. After 10 minutes, you're gonna take a break. You can go on your phone for 5 minutes. You can go on your phone, you can do whatever it is that you want. After those 5 minutes are up, you're gonna do again 10 minutes and you're gonna read other 10 pages. So that way you are resting, you are procrastinating, and at the same time, you're also reading and getting back to that like habit of reading and reading. In a way, it's gonna trick your brain into continue reading. And let's say you're in your timer and you get to a part that it's very intriguing and that you want to know more, and let's say the timer missed and you continue reading. That's like rewarding yourself because now you want to continue in the story, which is gonna push you to finish the book and therefore be out of a reading slump. And last but not least, I think this one's very important. If you're having a reading slump right now and you're starting a brand new book, If in the 50, I always do the 100-page mark, but if in the 50-page mark or 100-page mark you don't like it, DNF it and get another book. Because if you are stuck reading a book that you don't like, it's gonna push you deeper into a reading slump. Just DNF the book. If you don't like it, if you're not enjoying it, if you think, okay, I'm in 100 pages and it's not going fun, it's not going the way that I want it to go, just DNF it. Pick up another book, pick up another genre, pick up another author, and just go ahead and see what works for you. And actually, this is going to be a bonus one, and this is going to be number 9. Reread your favorite author or reread authors that you've already loved their books. Let's say I read the Shatter Me series and I fell in love with the way that the author wrote those books. I fell in love with the way that the books went. I'm going to go ahead and read more from that author, the other series that they have, other books that they have, and things like that. That's the way, I feel like it's one of the most effective ways to get out of a reading slump. And those are all of my tips and tricks for how to get out of a reading slump. I hope this video helped you, because I know that these tips and tricks and secrets have helped me every single time. And I'm pretty sure consistently since January, I've had not a reading slump. I literally been constantly reading 10 to 12 books in 1 month. So yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video. Stay tuned and make sure you like, follow, subscribe, comment, all of that stuff that you have to do here on YouTube. Make sure you're also following me on TikTok and on Instagram. It's going to be the same. It's going to be Sabrina's Reads, to where I'm trying to be more active on Instagram and also on TikTok, where I post more consistently. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video. Bye.